Hey there, everybody. First Alert Meteorologist Keith Gibson on this Sunday evening just after 8 o'clock. I hope you're doing okay. Hope you had a great weekend. We had some nice weather yesterday, and now we are looking at some unsettled weather as we get into tomorrow and tomorrow night. Today really wasn't that bad either, but all things considered, I think the best day in the last couple of days was yesterday, and I just have to say what a great experience we had overall for the draft in Green Bay. All right, let's roll on into our severe weather discussion. We got storms on the way for some of us tomorrow morning, for some of us tomorrow afternoon and evening. Monday night is a first alert weather day, and we have not had a widespread severe weather risk in northeastern Wisconsin for almost a year, about 11 months since we've had an enhanced risk for severe weather like what we do have tomorrow and tomorrow night. So let's get into your discussion. If you have some comments or questions, chime in on our Facebook chat here, and I'll try to get to them when I can, and I'll monitor that as I go through some of our graphics. Now this evening, First Alert Viper Max is showing at 8:05, a few lighter showers drifting across northern Door County in the UP. Most of this has been really light, not a lot of this too terribly crazy today, but we have had a few showers around. The atmosphere has been pretty dry, so the radar could be overdoing what is actually reaching the ground, but there has been a little bit of activity out there for sure. Now this is the storm system headed our way for tomorrow and tomorrow night. We already have severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings out here in the high plains, Nebraska and South Dakota. The center of this is out towards Salt Lake City. This is a big swirl, big area of low pressure. It is moving slowly towards the Great Lakes, and this is what we have coming our way as we get into our Monday and Monday night. So as of this discussion, we have a level 3 severe weather risk for all of northeastern Wisconsin, the western UP. You get into western parts of Waushara and Marquette counties, and this is where the level 4 severe weather threat begins. That goes all the way back into Minnesota and Iowa. We have not had a risk like this since last May. I think it was May 21st. Yeah, May 21st, where we had a big pronounced risk all the way into northeastern Wisconsin. Now, this doesn't mean you in your backyard will get a severe storm, but this means is a very high chance for some strong storms that will develop in the region and move somewhere at some point. But for you in your backyard, it is not a guarantee that you will have severe weather tomorrow. But we all need to be prepared. Let me just say that. Be prepared. Do not be scared. Just be prepared in case severe weather comes your way, and know where to go in case a warning is issued. And if you have an action plan, you can get through these events much better. You will know what to do, and you can exercise your plan as severe weather develops. So hopefully you already have that in place. It's been pretty quiet over the last year around here, last couple of years actually. As far as severe weather risks go, I still think in the big picture, wind and large hail, damaging wind maybe up to 70 miles per hour, hail perhaps as high or perhaps as big as a golf ball. These two things would be the primary concern. Now, tornadoes, just by definition, their existence, very isolated. However, there is a tornado risk for Wisconsin, northeastern Wisconsin tomorrow. And some of those, with the wind energy in place, could be on the stronger side. We just don't know what storm could produce a tornado until it actually does. So right now, this is 24 hours out. And, we just have to watch the trends over the next 24 hours. But just looking at the data, wind and hail, more of a concern, I think, area-wide versus the tornado threat. Those are isolated, and flooding is most likely not going to be too much of a widespread issue tomorrow, but some of us could get socked with a couple of clusters of storms, and it's worth noting that some of you may totally miss out on a storm or any decent rain, so that's a distinct possibility as well. Let's talk about the tornado probability for tomorrow and tomorrow night. Now, this is as of Sunday evening. This is going to be changing over the next 24 hours. I do want to show you that we have a 10% chance of a tornado within 25 miles of a point. This is coming from the Storm Prediction Center for most of our area here. And also a 10% chance of a strong tornado. That would be one of those EF2s, EF3s, or higher. Let's just go with the 10% for now. For discussion purposes here, keep in mind 10% doesn't sound too terribly high, but it is in the grand scheme of things, because typically on April 28th here in northeastern Wisconsin, the risk of any tornado is between 0.1% and 0.2%. This is 10%. So this risk is actually 50 to 100 times higher than a typical April 28th day in northeastern Wisconsin. Now, having said that, the odds of seeing or experiencing a tornado in your backyard is very, very slim. So don't freak out, don't panic about it. Again, prepare in case a storm warning is issued for your area. But we actually do have an elevated risk for severe weather and an elevated chance of some tornadoes here across Wisconsin and the upper Midwest. That 15% is out to the west. The hatched area is where we could have some of those stronger storms. So again, an elevated risk for some severe weather tomorrow that could include a tornado. Doesn't guarantee it, could include it. The tornado strength, just want to go down this real quick. Most tornadoes that we get are on the weaker side. Now, any tornado is going to cause some damage. We don't want it. But thankfully, most tornadoes we do end up getting tend to be on the weaker side, the EF0s, the EF1s. These still can have wind gusts between 65 and 85 for an EF0, 86 to 110. Now, let's imagine wind speeds of 110 miles per hour. That's going to cause some damage, but it's still considered a weak tornado here. Mike asking, is there a cap in place for tomorrow? Looks like I suspect we are going to have a bit of a cap in place tomorrow afternoon into the early evening. That is looking like some of our forecast models are picking up on that. So that is a distinct possibility until we get into the evening when a strong cold front approaches. So Mike, thank you for your question. All right, Kathy asking, any idea when this will begin? Hold on. We are expecting, I'll go through the timing in just a split second. The stronger tornadoes are EF2s, EF3s. Thankfully, these don't happen too often, but they do. We get them around here for sure. And tomorrow night could actually pose the risk for maybe a strong tornado or two, just looking at some of the wind energy. Violent tornadoes, those EF4s, EF5s, very, very rare. Would not expect them tomorrow. Those only happen in the most extreme circumstances. So just wanted to put that into the discussion as far as that tornado risk for our Monday and Monday night. Now, hail, 1-inch diameter hail or larger, there is a 30% chance for most of us for tomorrow and tomorrow night. That is 120 times the standard risk for April 28th as far as 1-inch diameter hail. That is the size of a quarter. That's where we think the size can be to start causing damage. Now, this hatched area you see here, this is where there's a 10% chance of 2-inch diameter hail. Let's hope we don't have any of that. But not too long ago, down towards Madison and southern Wisconsin, there was some tennis ball size hail earlier this month. So we can get hail. The updraft will determine how big the hail is going to be, and some of the wind is zipping through here tomorrow at a pretty good clip. So we could have some pretty good updrafts tomorrow, and we could have some large hail. So that's an elevated risk for some hail. And as far as damaging wind, again, I think hail and wind would be the bigger concern overall. And widespread wind damage is typically the most significant aerial coverage of destruction with these events, just because it's going to be affecting the most people, damaging wind versus a hail core or the little pinpoint of a tornado touching down. So again, damaging wind could cause some power outages and some tree limbs that come on down and some roof damage and all that stuff here. So 30% chance tomorrow for some damaging wind within 25 miles of a point, and that is 125 times the standard risk area here. So let's go back to First Alert Viper Max, and I want to just show you the system where it is as of now. We'll zoom on into the high plains, and notice out here in Nebraska, there's actually a cluster of storms producing confirmed tornado right now, and out towards the western part of South Dakota, we've got a cluster of severe storms, and out here in Montana. I used to work out here a long time ago, back from 2005 to 2012, and it was very cool to see some of these storms erupt out here because you could see for miles. There's very few trees outside of the Black Hills, and the storm structures would be absolutely amazing. And thankfully, the population density out here is very, very low. So while there are a lot of storms out here, some of these counties have actually more cattle in them and animals than people. So thankfully, the population density outside of the Black Hills is much lower. But that's where the storms are now. And we will be watching out for this to come our way tomorrow and tomorrow night. So here's a thing we don't really show on TV too often, but I'm going to pull it into my discussion tonight just to show you the setup of what is likely going to happen. So this colored area right here, this is where we have the greatest amount of unstable air and spin that could take these storms and turn them into severe storms, all right? And the brighter the color, like the purple and all that, that's where we have the greatest values. So this is the worst air to be in terms of storm potential. You don't want to be here, basically. So tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., we're going to be okay, but the most unstable air is going to be back out here to the west. Now, as we go through time here, I'm going to throw on our future radar product here, and notice how some of that will be tapping into some of that energy here. So this is 2 in the afternoon tomorrow. Now, this is just one run-up predictor. I'm going to show you another one in just a split second. We're getting a similar solution from our high-resolution guidance, but it's not all consistent. So we're blending what we think what's going to happen, and that's what I'm telling you in this long-winded discussion here tonight. I'm just going to give you the rundown, and we hope for a little bit more clarity as we go through the night and tomorrow morning as new data arrives. So tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock, most of us should be okay. Initially tomorrow morning, let's see, some folks are asking about the timing here. Tomorrow morning, it looks like northwest of the Fox Valley into the early afternoon. This is where we could have some storms flaring up with some hail potential tomorrow morning into the early afternoon. All right, now that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's go on into the early evening at 6 o'clock. Folks asking about a cap on the atmosphere. And we very well could have a lid on the atmosphere because look at all of this energy just sitting here waiting with very little in the way of storm activity directly on top of this. Now, if we do have a cap, the question is, how strong will it be? When will it break? It could break early, and we could have storms erupt prior to 6. It could hold steady and keep the storms at bay a little bit longer. So again, that is something that we will be watching out for during the course of the event tomorrow. Let's go on into the early evening. Now, by 9 o'clock, regardless if we have storms or not here locally in northeastern Wisconsin, I assume and I expect at least some scattered to isolated storms developing across north central Wisconsin, the western UP. Some of these will have to be watched because any discrete storm in these kind of environments can rotate a little bit more and produce a better chance for a tornado or very large hail before it forms into a storm line. So this will be 9 o'clock. We'll be watching areas back to the west. And that will give us a little bit of time to react because it looks like whatever does happen to our west will kind of congeal into a little bit of a line here. So this is midnight tomorrow night. Still plenty of fuel, and we'll have a strong cold front coming in. And there is that potential line of storms that could be on the hefty side midnight tomorrow night. And that will roll through between midnight and about 3, 4 a.m. And then by Tuesday morning, 6 a.m., should be basically all out of here and over into Michigan. So that's our window of opportunity tomorrow. We'll go into a couple of different other other products here, a little bit different look. I just showed you the wind. I just showed you the storm energy and the spin. Now I'm going to show you the low-level jet. This is a very strong wind, a couple thousand feet above the surface. And this thing, the low-level jet, really helps to drive severe weather, especially in nighttime environments. A lot of this tomorrow evening will be after sunset, and we don't want to have storms at night because it's hard to see what's coming, and it's hard to react if you are out and about and a storm comes in. You just can't see because it's night. But these low-level jets really tend to maximize themselves during the evening and the overnight hours. So tomorrow morning into the early afternoon, there is going to be some low-level winds zipping on through Wisconsin. Some of that will kick off some storms northwest of the Fox Valley. Again, some of that could be on the stronger side with a hail risk. And then that low-level jet's just going to be sitting on top of northeastern Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon. This is 5 o'clock. The question is, will that lid that could be on the atmosphere, will it hold even with these winds zipping on through here? Anything that is colored is basically winds a couple thousand feet, at least 50 miles per hour, all right? And the brighter the color, it illustrates where we have the stronger wind here, all right? So that's 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It does look like the strongest wind with this low-level jet is going to be tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, and it's going to be maximizing itself around midnight, we think, here in northeastern Wisconsin. So this is midnight, very strong wind, zipping just above the surface across all of northeastern Wisconsin. Keep in mind, dew point values will be climbing and surging into the 60s tomorrow evening. At the same time, this wind is being maximized. Also at the same time, we have a strong cold front that will be coming in from the west out here. So you would think everything is leading to a major ordeal of severe weather tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. So there's a lot of evidence there, but some of our high resolution models, they're not very robust as far as what kind of coverage we're going to get here. So there are a lot of variables supporting a lot of storm activity tomorrow, but not everything is supporting strong storm activity on a widespread basis here. So that is what we're looking at for the variables, some of them tonight. I didn't show you the significant tornado parameter, which is extremely high across parts of Wisconsin tomorrow afternoon and evening. But none of that means that we're guaranteed a severe weather outbreak or tornado outbreak or anything. So we know there are certain things out there, variables. How will they come together in the next 24 hours? That's a wait and see. All right, so that's where we stand right now. Now here's our other run and predictor here. I'm still waiting on some new information to come on in. Let me see if I can pull that up over here on my other screen. Okay, I'm going to be able to describe what I'm seeing. But tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock here, 9:30, again, areas north and west of the Fox Valley out towards Wausau, Rhinelander. Out here, I suspect we would have a better chance for some of these hailers, these hail-type storms. Some of them may not support large hail, but there could be some large quantities of small hail and some of this thunder and lightning activity out here. Excuse me. So I think for the rest of tonight and the morning commute tomorrow, we should be in pretty good shape for a good chunk of northeastern Wisconsin. All right, by 2:30 in the afternoon, this is where things get a little bit muddy because we mentioned that lid on the atmosphere not too long ago. That could be capping things. So what you see here may or may not happen. I just don't know. We will wait and see. It's a waiting game. So we're reshuffling our weather department schedule tomorrow to move people like me and David and Steve around, and we'll just kind of we'll be here hovering to make sure things don't go crazy off the rails. But what you see tomorrow afternoon is still in doubt. All right. So going into the early evening, same story. Don't know if we're going to have any storms here at 6:30 locally. It's a possibility, just don't know yet. All right. So morning looks like the hail risk northwest of the Fox Valley. Afternoon, early evening, a question mark. And then going into the mid to late evening, this is 10:30, and we are getting more information that would support a few stronger storms into tomorrow evening, and then maybe a couple of waves. There could be, a first little wave out ahead of a second wave with the actual cold front here. So, tomorrow evening there could be a couple of different clusters we'll be watching at some point here. So, anyway, I just hope this all makes sense. I'm just showing you the very latest information here. After midnight, 2 a.m. Tuesday, I'm trying to multitask here. So, the front is still likely going to be pushing through the area at 2 a.m., and I don't think the storm risk will be over until probably like 3 or 4. So by that point, whatever happens is going to be done, and then we'll just be dealing with the aftermath if we have some severe weather, and it will the severe weather threat will be done, and then we'll just have some lingering showers Tuesday morning, breezy conditions, and the sky will clear by Tuesday afternoon. All right, let me get back to some of these questions here. All right, okay. All right. So in summary, I just want to make sure you all know that you need to be prepared. Just looking at some of the questions here. I've showed you a lot of percentages, various computer models here. The one thing that you can do to mitigate any seriousness the best you can is just have an action plan in case you get a storm tomorrow. It doesn't look like the end of days type severe weather event for us here tomorrow. Not everyone's guaranteed severe weather, but it is a possibility. One other thing I want to mention real quick, the dew points are currently in the 30s to low 40s, and we will remain dry into the morning hours. Our dew point tomorrow evening at 11 o'clock should be well into the 60s here. So tomorrow evening, it's going to be windy. It is going to be humid. You will have that feel that there's likely going to be a storm. So we will definitely have a summer feel to the air tomorrow evening with temperatures still probably around midnight, around 70 degrees. So a real warm surge of moist air zipping through here. Strong wind just above the surface. And then the drier air will come on in quickly on Tuesday. And the rest of the week is not going to be as active here. Now, as far as rainfall potential here, it could vary from very little to an inch or two. It just depends on where these storms happen to settle up here. So Joshua asking the models really don't match up with the SPC outlooks. Correct. The high-res models aren't doing the best right now. They're all over the place. Brad asking, what are we fearing for the second round? Don't want clearing. No. Basically, we just have to be on guard for some hail northwest of the Fox Valley in the morning, and then all modes of severe weather are possible in the afternoon and evening, but the afternoon stuff is still a question mark here. All right, so, okay, the areas first tomorrow morning would be affected out towards Wausau and Rhinelander, folks asking about those areas here, and then the Fox Valley probably wouldn't be affected until some point later in the day or the evening or even tomorrow night here. So, in summary, tonight we're going to be down into the 40s tomorrow, 60s and 70s, very warm and windy, 50s near the lakeshore though, so there's that little taste of spring coming our way. Winds will likely be gusting at times tomorrow from the south and southeast over 30, and then our winds will become more westerly and northwesterly behind the front going into Tuesday, but still quite gusty. So we've got a couple of things here going on, and it's more than a couple of things actually, a lot of stuff happening tomorrow. We just don't know exactly how these variables are going to play out. So 71 tomorrow, some of you could be warmer, cooler lakeside. The 66 you see on Tuesday, that's going to be pre-dawn, and then I think we fall into the 50s during the day, still breezy. 58 Wednesday. Thursday, just looking ahead real quick, if you do have some plans later on in the week, I know we're talking about tomorrow and tomorrow night, but Thursday, low 50s, a pretty good chance for some showers. Also some lingering showers on Friday, some 50s here. Some model data suggests that some spots here Thursday, Friday may stay in the 40s if we happen to have some higher rain coverage around. So it looks unsettled there. That's not going to be severe, but some showery and cooler weather. Next weekend, though, we're back into the 60s and some sunshine, so that's looking pretty good there. So that's what we have here, and just to remind you, make sure you have your First Alert Weather app. We'll be doing some live streaming tomorrow, and we'll be on the TV, of course, during any severe thunderstorm warning. If we have tornado warnings, we will be doing a wall-to-wall coverage here online and on your app, on TV, and we'll have you covered here with the latest and greatest. Hopefully we don't have to do that. Hopefully you don't see us too much tomorrow, because that would mean that things would be low-key and not too crazy. But we do have to watch out for the potential for some strong storms moving across parts of northeastern Wisconsin. So that is what we have here this evening. Let me just pop back. Let's see, where is my radar real quick? Put this back on here while I look at some of the questions. Let's see. All right. Again, I hope you have a great weekend, or you've had a great weekend and a great week ahead. All right. Nancy asking about Shawano. I think there could be some storms there tomorrow afternoon, but most likely tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Just looking through here real quick. Yeah, and if tomorrow is your trash day, hopefully your garbage can doesn't go down the street too far. It's not going to be, we've had a lot of wind, it seems like, this spring. But tomorrow we'll have more wind gusts around 30, 35, not 45, 55, but 30, 35. We've had plenty of that here. So we'll just be watching this evolve over the next 24 hours, and you can see that system back to the west there towards Rapid City, South Dakota. So that's where we stand here this evening, folks, and it is 8:30. I think, if I'm not mistaken, isn't the Milwaukee Bucks game about ready to start? I believe so, and if that is in case, which I want to say it's 8:30, I'm going to let you guys go so you can go about your business. Just have an action plan for tomorrow and be prepared. We'll have the very latest, some new data trickling in right now. We'll have on the TV tonight at 10 o'clock. And of course, now you know the heads up has been given to you, and join us tomorrow morning with the very latest starting at 4:30. Meteorologist Steve Balon will be in, and David and I will be in tomorrow afternoon. Brad will be in as well. We'll keep you covered and keep you safe here as the system rolls on through. So with that, have a great Sunday evening, and we'll talk to you later.